Below your feet lies a different world of Garnet Gaming, a world often not mentioned nor seen, only talked about in passing by thieves who need a place to lay low after RDMing 3 hobos. They are called the sewers, a dark, damp, and moist place where even the city's trash cleaners won't go. In these sewers, there are abandoned buildings from decades ago, back when lead paint was still used, and the Jetsons were considered funny. In one of these buildings is a place called Tiki Town. Tiki Town is considered an urban legend by some, and even fewer know the story behind it. But today that changes. The world will find out the horrors below, run by a man named Mr.Cubes. Mr.Cubes is a charismatic man with many talents. Such talents are, but not limited to, kidnapping people, forcing people into slavery, making people beg for mercy, knowing how to file his own taxes, and he's also foreclosure certified. But what does Mr.Cubes do, you may ask? Well, he runs Tiki Town and keeps it operating in tip-top shape. In fact, his inspirational quote to keep his workers in line is, "Part of the work, part of the tomb." Not entirely sure what that means. I assume it has something to do with Tomb Raiders though. His startings as a human trafficker are humble. He operated out of a single house and worked his way up to modern-day Tiki Town. He formed working relations with clans and captured many people who worked for him, including single mothers. During this time, he made friends with a man nicknamed, and I quote, "Monkey with a Gun." His real identity is unknown, but it's theorized by detectives that he's the Zodiac Killer. I will refer to him as Mr. Monkey. Mr. Monkey quickly became an integral part of the operation, helping Mr.Cubes capture and discipline any unruly subjects. Together, they built Tiki Town. But during this process, Mr.Cubes tried out different flavors of slavery, such as being a cult leader and sacrificing slaves, to trying to sell people. Nowadays, he just keeps the slaves for his own sick, twisted use. And by sick, twisted use, I mean forced labor for Tiki Town, and making slaves listen to this horrible song on repeat. Not some sick, fucked up, demented sex stuff. Mr.Cubes is not that bad.
Very rarely are people privileged to know about the truth of Tiki Town.
This will be changed today. The people will be given the truth about Tiki Town, and I will replay the words of Mr.Cubes himself to show you what Tiki Town really is. What is Tiki Town?
Tiki Town is a labor camp.
You heard it first here, folks. He owns a f***ing Auschwitz. But besides being extremely similar to a 1945 themed summer camp, Tiki Town is Garnet's most productive and active human trafficking ring, even surpassing Apple's Chinese phone factories. Opening in February of 2023 under the name Tiki Land, Mr.Cubes kidnapped people and brought them to Tiki Town to do various tasks, such as counting the skulls of past slaves and making knockoff Gucci wallets to sell to third world countries. But while Tiki Town itself is new, the idea is quite old. Mr.Cubes has been operating human trafficking rings for a while now. Before this, he operated one called, quote-unquote, the Butterfly Farm. The Butterfly Farm was essentially the alpha product of what Tiki Town is today. The name was chosen because, well, I'll let you see why.
You know how, you're a kid and you have a dog, then the dog gets and you can't tell your kid, he's 7 years old. How are you gonna tell him, oh, your dog got euthanized? Nah, you say he went to the Butterfly Farm.
Together, Mr.Cubes and Mr. Monkey processes dozens of slaves a week. Here's some footage of that.
You are nothing but product now. You are not a person. You have been forced here to be put into labor, okay? I want you to spawn 10 individual skulls on this ground, and I want you to count them out.
4, 5, 6, 7, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 1, 2.
Whoa. Stop. I didn't hear a 10. Read this out loud.
Listen to me, you work for us now. Play stupid, play clever. Soon you'll be one of the skulls. You are not a person, you are now a number.
As you can see, Mr. Cubes is really into the whole skull counting thing. But why don't we go over some features of Tiki Town? As you can see here, this is the furnace room, where dead slaves are burned at 1,800 degrees Fahrenheit. Over here is the conveyor belt room, where slaves manually assemble anime body pillows so they can be sold to 600-pound weebs across America. And in this room is the guillotine, where the French people go. You gotta keep them connected to their heritage, you know? I think the moral of the story here is that you don't want to end up in Mr. Cubes' Tiki Town. Or maybe the moral of the story is don't trust monkeys. Or it's true friendship? I don't know. How about the moral of the story is don't play Gmod, you losers. Go touch some grass.